I had my abortion in 2008. I was married at the time, and we were not ready to have a baby. And I really didn't want to have an abortion at that time. So I found out when I was about 8 weeks along, and I really kind of hoped that he would change his mind and maybe get on board with things, but it never did happen. And so we stretched it out to the latest that we could go at that time, which was about 12 weeks. And I eventually went to a clinic that no longer exists in Memphis, that it's been bulldozed and raised and doesn't even have a place on this earth anymore. Just kind of give you a little context of how crummy it was at the time. And when I went in for my abortion, he took me, but never gave me any kind of like physical comfort, emotional support, anything like that. And really, even though he was there, I really felt like I was doing it alone. But I ended up going upstairs at a time when he had stepped out of the building, so I was totally alone, didn't even tell him I was going to do the final act, so to speak. And I went upstairs, and I had been crying the whole time, and I sat on the bench waiting to go into the room, and there was a very lovely woman who sat next to me. She was there with her daughter, and she sat down and put her arm around me and said, "I pray for you." And at that moment, I at least felt like I had a little bit of somebody with me, and it made me feel at least a bit more comforted and not quite so alone. And so I got through the procedure, and it was really tough for me. Got done, left with my husband, and had a really hard time afterwards kind of coming to grips with it. I was raised in a Southern Baptist family, and I didn't really know how to feel about it. I felt very conflicted about it, emotionally, mentally, and even kind of spiritually. And I tried to reach out to different avenues to help me kind of cope with it and get past it and figure out, how to make the best out of something that was already done. And I actually reached out to the Catholic Diocese here in Memphis, and they were a huge support and very great for me. And then in 2015, I noticed a friend liked an article on Facebook about full spectrum doulas, and I thought, well, what's that all about? And so I looked it up online and found out that it's a doula that doesn't just cover birth, but they also cover any kind of reproductive right choice, abortion, adoption, miscarriage, things of that nature. And so I contacted her and asked her more about it, and she put me in contact with someone else who was doing a training. And so since then, here in Memphis, we have led a doula collective with CHOICES, and now with Planned Parenthood. And so that's kind of been the best healing that I've gotten from every single bit of it, was to be able to give back to somebody else what I didn't have, to be able to be a hand to hold and be able to be unconditional support and no judgment, and to be able to hopefully send that person on their way with at least a little bit more strength and conviction in what they chose to do that day.